a humble and charitable woman who shared the little she had with those in need. She is the patron saint of domestic workers. Today's curiosities are about Saint Zita. Here are 10 curiosities about her. 10. Humble birth. Saint Zita was born in 1218 in the humble village of Monsagrati, near the city of Lucca, Italy. From an early age, Zita's life was marked by simplicity and poverty. Her family, devout and God-fearing, struggled to survive with the few resources they had. Due to her family's financial condition, Zita began working as a domestic servant at the age of 12 in the home of a wealthy family in Lucca. For such a young child, the work could be heavy and exhausting, but Zita embraced this responsibility with humility and dedication. She approached her tasks with unwavering faith, believing that each act of service was a way to please God and help her family. Her simple life and hard work soon became a living testament to virtue and devotion, which still echoes in the history of Catholic sainthood. If you are not subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe so you don't miss any curiosities about the saints. 9. Semi-slavery. Saint Zita worked under extremely harsh conditions, which could be compared to a state of semi-slavery. From a young age, she was hired as a domestic servant in a wealthy family in Lucca, and despite her numerous responsibilities, she did not receive a salary for her work. Instead, her payment consisted only of basic food and clothing, without any monetary compensation that could provide her with financial independence. In addition to the lack of a fair salary, Zita also had no prospect of a dowry, something that was essential at that time for a woman's marriage. Without this resource, Zita's chances of marrying and starting her own family were virtually non-existent. Zita believed that her situation was an opportunity to serve others and the Lord, transforming what many would consider a life of suffering into a journey of holiness and an example of Christian virtue. 8. Exceptional charity. Despite her own poverty and the harsh conditions in which she lived, Saint Zita was an extraordinary example of charity and generosity. Even receiving only the bare minimum for her survival, she never hesitated to share the little she had with those in greater need. Zita deeply believed in the value of charity and the importance of helping those in situations even more difficult than her own. Frequently, she used her own scarce food and clothing to alleviate the suffering of the poor and marginalized. Her generosity was so great that, even when facing criticism or reprimands for giving to others, she steadfastly maintained her practice of charity, believing it was her divine mission to serve others. This altruistic and compassionate attitude made Zita loved and respected by everyone who knew her, despite the difficulties of her life. Her exceptional charity was not just an act of kindness but also an expression of her deep faith and devotion to God. Leave your prayer request in the comments so that Saint Zita may intercede for it before God. 7. Injustice and miracle. Saint Zita, known for her generosity and dedication to the poor, faced an unjust accusation that cast doubt on her integrity. She worked as a domestic servant in a wealthy household and frequently shared the little she received with those in need. However, this practice was not well received by everyone, and Zita was falsely accused of stealing food from the house where she worked to give to the poor. One day, while carrying food in her apron to help the less fortunate, she was confronted by the other servants who accused her of theft. Unable to defend herself, Zita entrusted her innocence to God. Miraculously, at the moment she was forced to show the contents of her apron, the food she was carrying turned into flowers. This miracle not only proved her innocence but also revealed the holiness of her actions, confirming that her heart was truly oriented towards good and love for others. This event not only reaffirmed Zita's faith but also transformed the perception of those around her. From that moment, her devotion and charity were seen as manifestations of her holiness, and she was recognized and venerated as a saint during her lifetime. The miracle of the flowers became a symbol of the power of faith and divine justice, demonstrating that God was on Zita's side in her mission to serve the needy, even in the face of human injustice. 6. Recognition in life. At the beginning of her career as a domestic servant, Zita was subjected to mistreatment and suspicion, especially due to her humble background and her devotion to the poor. However, her dedication, honesty, and deep faith began to attract the attention of her employers, who, over time, came to fully trust her. The trust Zita inspired was so great that she was appointed head of the servants, a position of responsibility that few achieved. However, this promotion did not come without challenges. Zita's rise generated envy among the other servants, who did not understand the true reason behind her success: her kindness, hard work, and unwavering devotion. Even in the face of envy and jealousy, Zita maintained her humble demeanor and continued to treat everyone with the same charity and respect she had always shown. Her new status in the household did not change her behavior, rather, it further strengthened her commitment to serving others. She used her leadership position to help the other servants, defending them when necessary and encouraging them to work with honesty and dedication. 5. Patron Saint of Domestic Workers. Saint Zita is widely recognized as the patron saint of domestic workers, a title that deeply reflects her life dedicated to humble and devoted service. Her journey as a domestic worker was not easy. She faced difficult conditions, was the target of injustices, and had to deal with mistrust and envy from those around her. However, Zita remained steadfast in her faith and demonstrated a spirit of service that went far beyond her professional obligations. Her generosity towards the poor, her patience in the face of adversity, and her ability to forgive and help others made her a living example of what it means to serve with love and humility. The fact that Zita has been recognized as the patron saint of domestic workers is a tribute to her life of hard work and her unconditional dedication to the well-being of others. She is seen as an intercessor for those dedicated to domestic service, offering them protection, inspiration, and a model of virtue to follow. Saint Zita teaches us that the true value of work lies in the intention and love with which it is performed. She shows that, regardless of social position or working conditions, each act of service, when done with faith and dedication, has profound spiritual meaning. 4. Legacy of Holiness. Saint Zita's legacy is a powerful example of how faith, humility, and charity can transform lives and inspire generations. Her story is a testament to the spiritual depth and positive impact that a life lived in devotion and service can have, regardless of social circumstances. Born into a very poor family and working as a domestic servant under extremely difficult conditions, Saint Zita faced significant challenges throughout her life. However, even in the most adverse situations, she never lost her faith and always sought to serve others with love and generosity. Her willingness to help those in need, even when she had little, and her capacity to forgive and endure injustices are evidence of the transformative power of charity and humility. Saint Zita's legacy demonstrates that holiness is not reserved for those in prominent or wealthy positions but is within everyone's reach. She teaches us that every person, regardless of their social background, can live a life of holiness by following the principles of love, service, and devotion. Her life serves as an inspiration to all, reminding us that our acts of kindness and faith have a lasting impact and can lead to true spiritual transformation. 3. Incorrupt Body. After Saint Zita's death on April 27, 1278, her body remained incorrupt, a rare and significant phenomenon in Catholic tradition. This state of incorruptibility is often seen as a divine sign of holiness and a confirmation of the person's purity and virtue. The fact that Saint Zita's body did not decompose in a natural way is considered a special manifestation of divine grace. This phenomenon has been a symbol of her life of devotion and holiness, reflecting the idea that holiness is preserved and honored by God in visible and extraordinary ways. The incorrupt state of Saint Zita's body not only confirmed her sanctity to her contemporaries but also served as a powerful testimony for the faithful throughout the centuries. 2. Posthumous Revelation. Saint Zita's incorrupt body was revealed to the world during an exhumation in 1653, more than 400 years after her death. The discovery was a significant and moving moment for the Christian community and the city of Lucca, where Saint Zita lived and served. The exhumation took place at the Basilica of San Frediano in Lucca, a location of great importance for devotion to Saint Zita. When the remains were unearthed, researchers and devotees were surprised to find Saint Zita's body in excellent condition of preservation. After the discovery, Saint Zita's body was placed in an honored location in the basilica, where it continues to be a source of inspiration and veneration for the faithful. 1. Canonization. Saint Zita was canonized by Pope Innocent XI in 1696, in recognition of her exemplary life of charity, humility, and devotion. The canonization process for Saint Zita reflected the deep respect and admiration that the Catholic Church had for her life and virtues. The decision to canonize her came after a careful investigation of her life, which revealed the depth of her dedication to God and to serving others, even under the most difficult conditions. Saint Zita is celebrated on April 27. We have reached the end of another story full of curiosities. Don't forget to leave in the comments which saint's curiosities you would like to see here on the channel. And see you next time.